Hello everyone, welcome to a video about some great 251 licks you can play on Coquette or any jazz standards, and the way I take those new licks, because they're also new for me, and the way I integrate them in my fretboard system, the Van Hemert system, so that I can learn them efficiently and in an organized way. Let's get started. Per usual, I'm making a video about something that I'm practicing, and I was planning to make a video about some intricate diminished arpeggios on top of some weird chords, or make another video about whole tone licks like my previous video, but then I discovered a new upload by Pasquale Grasso, the guitar player that I made many videos about. I will link some in the description, and it's a full concert with also with vocals, but of course I'm mainly interested in the guitar solos, and it's just perfect guitar playing, and you can spend your whole life learning all those great licks. So I got completely lost in transcribing solos from that concert, and one such solo was on the standard stomping at the Savoy, and I will link the concert in the description, also give you the time code for when that song starts. And I transcribed many things. I transcribed licks that he plays on the one chord, but I also described a couple of really neat 251s. And I want to show you what they sound like, how I play them, which is completely different fingerings than Pasquale, but also how I integrate them in my system, the Van Hemert system. And if you've never heard about the Van Hemert system, I will link a video in the description in which I explain it in detail. But in short, it's a way to divide the guitar neck per chord type. So there's 3 positions for major chords, there's 3 positions for minor chords, and there's 4 positions for dominant chords. And it enables you to play jazz or to improvise in a jazz style, but it would work for all styles, without having to learn the notes on the neck, or without having to learn scales or any kind of theoretical device or fretboard identification. That might seem a little bit exaggerated, but I'm not kidding, so go watch that video in which I explain this. But in this video I want to show you how I place the licks inside my system. I transcribed all the licks in the key of C, even though the original tune is in D flat, and I'm going to demonstrate them in D, but it doesn't matter, it just shows you even more how my system works. So the first lick, a really simple 251, sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, if you want to download the tabs that you see on the screen, you can always join my Patreon. If you join there at the lowest tier, the €5 tier, you can download all the tabs that you see in this video, but also of many other videos. So this lick is a very easygoing, kind of a bluesy 251 lick in C. And I'm playing it in this position, which is different from Pasquale, because I am tying it to the 5th position of D minor, right? The first chord is D minor, and the 5th position is with my first finger on the A. And again, if you want to know how that works, watch the full video about the Van Hemert system. So in this position, I have many 251 licks that start on that A or R with my hand there. For instance, a famous jungle one would be this one: 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one doesn't start on the A, but my first finger is still on the A. Another one that I have by Pasquale, for instance, is one that I described some time ago, which goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So my hand ends up a lot in this position for 251s. It's just very handy. So that's why I'm placing this lick here, not for instance here. Right, I do it here. And I'm not worried about any of the notes, what they are called, or what the function is, or the number compared to the root, right? Like it's the 5th, it's no. I might explain that when I talk about the lick, but when I play, it's just put my first finger on the 5th position of D minor, and then remember the fingerings. So for instance, I play 1, 2, 3, 2, right? It's a D minor arpeggio, but that's not really important. So I'm 1 fret up, go back, slide, I focus completely on the execution of the lick, not so much worry about the notes. So I'm making sure that the slide is clear. Make sure that I have the picking correct. So that's a slide and then up. That I don't play accidentally all downstrokes. Right? You can do that if you don't pay attention, but it's handier for me to do it alternate. So that I have an upstroke on the G and then a downstroke on the next note. Just details like that. I'm worried about that kind of stuff. Also the timing, it's swinging, and I'm trying to get the sound in my ears. So I don't have to worry about the theory of it. I just worry about the execution. So let me demonstrate it on a backing track of Coquette. Of course, Coquette is in D. So then I have to play this lick in the 5th position of E minor, which is here. It's 2 frets up, but I don't think 2 frets up. I think what's the 5th position of E minor? That's a B, so here. Fingering stay the same. And then in the bridge we have a 2-5-1 to G. So what's the 5th position of A minor? That's a 2 chord in G. That's an E. So let me demonstrate it on the backing track of Coquette. Of course, I will be improvising in between, and maybe I won't play it every time the 2-5-1 hits, but I'm gonna at least play it once in the D part and once in the bridge. So let's go. I hope you recognize the lick in the middle of all those other licks. But the next phrase is from the same position again. We're going back to the key of C. And sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. Really nice lick with some alterations, some triplets, but I'm not even going to explain the theory, because really I'm not very interested in it. I'm interested in the sound, and I like the sound, so who cares about the theory? I focus on the execution. So there are some tricky parts. Here we have white position, which means that there's a fret between my first and second finger. Here I have to double downstroke, makes it easier for me. For the triplets, I want to pick the first and then pull off. And try to keep it swinging, right? Again, that's what I'm focusing on, the execution. So if I play it in D, it would be, again, it's from the 5th position of D minor, or E minor, because we're going to go to the key of D. 3, 4. And in G, let's try with the backing track. Alright, let's go to the third lick. Again, same position. But now it doesn't start on the A, it starts on the C. But my finger is still on the 5th position of D minor. So the lick sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. So this is actually a 2-5-1 in C, and then a turnaround after it. So you get, the chords would be 2, 5, turnaround. So there's many songs like that, right? They have a 2-5-1 to end, and then there's a turnaround back to the beginning or back to the second A. Happens in Coquette. We have D, and then 2, 5, and now 2, 5, turnaround. So it would work in the first A and in the final A. And in the second A we could still play it, but we have to change the ending. So instead of playing we will play you end earlier. But that idea of the turnaround is really cool. It's basically just a B flat scale, B flat major scale played down and up. So if we would go back to the key of C, then we get A flat scale on the turnaround. Really cool idea that you can probably use with different licks or different parts of the scale. But let's try it on Coquette in D. And the bridge, we cannot play it, or we could play it. We could play the abbreviated version, and then we would get 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a little high, so let's not play it in the bridge. Let's play something else in the bridge. Just gonna play it in the first and third A. Okay, here we have one with some double stops. Really original double stops, a little bit like a piano, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have this E and the D, which is the root and the 7th of the minor chord. But this is in the key of D. Actually, I should have played it in the key of C because the tab is in C. So 3, 4. Right, like that. So let's play it on Coquette. We can play it on the 2-5-1 to the key of D, but also the 2-5-1 to the key of G. 3, 4. And the final lick, again from the same position. I've chosen all of these licks to we played from the same position. Fifth position of D minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. In D, 1, 2, 3, 4. In G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play it. There you go, 5 new licks. Also new for me, I just transcribed them. And the way I noticed that they are new is that it is still difficult to connect them to all my regular stuff, right? To make it a smooth transition. Now it's a little bit like copy paste. But that's the point. When you practice like this, you're just forcing yourself to play them. And then hopefully some of them, or maybe all of them, but that's a small chance, but maybe one of them or two will stick and you'll start hearing them when you're just soloing, when you're free. You hear one of these licks and then you just move your hand to the right position and you'll play it. And hopefully you'll play it with good timing and with good technique. And that way you've added a completely new, fresh piece to your vocabulary, something that you've never played before, and it will open up your solos into new directions. If you liked the video, please give it a like, consider subscribing, and if you want to download the tab, again, check out my Patreon. There's also many exclusive videos that are only accessible to my patrons at the higher tiers, like the 10 euro tier, and there's even a 28 euro tier in which you get access to everything, which is hundreds of videos and dozens of exclusive materials. Hopefully, I will see you in the next video. Bye!